All right. Do I need the question? Or are you gonna ask me questions?
I was gonna ask you,
Perfect,
you can
perfect,
just be,
perfect.
you can just be, yourself. I mean, we're not asking, we're not filming an actual.
No. I didn't know if I had a scene to read more.
Can we do retakes?
No, that's okay.
Yeah, right.
Right, good.
Get ahead.
So anyway, Jimmy, thank you for taking the time to meet with us today.
No problem.
It's really super special for you to do business with us at CPS, the way you treat the customers. But before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about who Jimmy the Boxer is?
Jimmy the Boxer is a brand. Jimmy the Boxer is a brand that we sell a lot of cars. We do a lot of business, but we deal with any type of credit. So we don't care if it's a 400 or an 800 credit score. Our main job is to sell the car, and not only that, but take care of the customer above and beyond.
Awesome, great. So just so that we can get a chance to get to know who you are, tell us who Jimmy is.
I started in the car business 12 years ago, and I've went from working as a salesman at a new car dealership to being, a top salesman, to moving to another dealership to be a top salesman, to really skipping finance and desk and going to run my own show, and learning everything at the same time years ago. So really, I've been in the business for 12 years, and now I'm the owner of Jimmy the Boxer Auto Mall, and we're scaling.
Awesome, that's great to hear. Because from my view, being a boxer, because I'm a team sport guy, so I rely on others. But as a boxer, it's just you by yourself.
Correct.
So you got to make sure that to make it happen, because there's nobody else but you.
That's right, and Jimmy the Boxer, and the public, when they come in, they know my motto is I'm knocking out the competition. And people are like, how are you knocking out the competition? I'm knocking out the competition because we're putting the processes and people in place to be able to do the business that we're saying we can do, and we're making sure that we take care of the customer after they purchase the vehicle.
Great, that's awesome. I'm glad that you said that. So from a lender's perspective, what's important to you in a non-captive lender relationship?
And non-captive lender relationship would be turn funding time. It would come down to funding, which would be one of the biggest keys.
Gotcha. And what parameters or what time frame do you give your people?
4 days.
4 days.
4 days when it hits the bank. So when your clock starts, when the deal gets to the bank, they got 4 days to fund.
Gotcha.
On average. I go off a 30-day average.
Okay, good. Do you does your team utilize e-contracting?
Correct, yes. And any bank that is available, we do it.
Gotcha.
Speeds up the time, and if people think it's harder, it's not hard. It's a lot easier than doing it the old way.
Perfect.
And efficient.
In what ways can I work to make sure our relationship meets your expectations?
Communication is key for the rep to have communication with whoever it pertains to in the dealership. The direct contact, they should have contact with that person, and if it's a big account, daily. But they should definitely, even if they're trying to get business with that dealership, is be in there and really get your feet on the ground and keep the contact. Contact is everything. Even if we did business, contact is everything.
That's great, yeah, because what's really important in business, as you mentioned, is communication. Trust is another one. Trust is part of the communication piece. Yeah. How important is cash flow to your operation? I know you mentioned 4 days, but how important is the cash flow for your operations?
The most important part of my business. Cash flow is the most important part.
And it's important. Could you elaborate a little bit on that? How come it's so important?
Because if I don't fund the deals in 4 days and I fund them in 8, I'd sell half the cars. Because you have to turn the money to be able to go buy cars. So nobody, a lot of dealerships, maybe they do, maybe they don't. God bless them, own all their inventory. You have to turn your inventory, and you rely on the banks. As long as you do everything the bank said needed to fund that deal, we rely on the banks to fund that deal. So we need 4 days.
Gotcha.
On that term.
Perfect. And Jimmy, who at your dealership is most responsible for determining where the business goes?
My desk guys and girls.
The desk guys and girls, so your desk staff.
Yep.
Okay. And I know that you do a lot of business with us here at CPS, but do you have a preferred lender list, if you will?
It's not a preferred lender list. It comes down to communication. So if the rep does his job from the beginning of the relationship with that dealership and staying invested in that dealership and keeping communication, you'll get business. So it's not like there's a list where we say, oh, we have to send to this bank, we have to send to that bank. We give every bank a fair shot because we give the customer the fair shot to get the best rate available for them.
Perfect. I'm good.